Hello, and welcome back to What Is. Today, we're tackling a question so fundamental, so utterly interwoven with our very existence, that it's frankly astonishing how little we pause to truly consider it. We're asking, what is memory? Is it some sort of mental attic, filled to the brim with dusty old experiences, forgotten shopping lists, and that one embarrassing thing you did in 3rd grade? Or is it a meticulously organized library, where every fact, every feeling, every face is catalogued with precision, ready for instant recall? Spoiler alert, it's neither, and both, and a whole lot more. Memory isn't a single, monolithic thing. It's a vast, intricate, and frankly, quite messy system. It's the reason you remember your grandmother's laugh, the quadratic formula if you were paying attention in math class, and crucially, where you parked your car this morning. Or at least, the reason you should remember where you parked your car. If, like me, you sometimes find yourself wandering a grocery store parking lot, hitting your key fob like a desperate magic wand, then you already know memory is a fickle friend. Let's start with the basics. Imagine your brain as an incredibly busy, slightly chaotic office. Information is constantly flooding in. Think about right now. You're hearing my voice. Maybe you're seeing something, smelling coffee, feeling the chair beneath you. All that raw data hits your sensory memory, a kind of ultra-fast inbox that holds impressions for mere milliseconds. It's enough time to register, a sound, or a flash of light. But blink, and it's gone. Most of it, thankfully, gets deleted before it even bothers the main executives. What does catch our attention, however, moves into what we call short-term memory, or more accurately, working memory. This is your brain's active scratch pad. It's where you hold information you're currently using, like trying to remember a new phone number long enough to dial it, or keeping track of the ingredients you need while you're following a recipe. It's a remarkably limited space, like trying to juggle 7 oranges at once. Try adding an 8th, and one is bound to drop. This is why trying to hold a complex conversation, remember your grocery list, and figure out what you're having for dinner simultaneously can feel like a cognitive circus act, performed by very tired squirrels. But the real magic, the stuff that makes us us, happens when information graduates to long-term memory. This isn't just one big storage unit. It's more like a sprawling, multi-level mansion, with different wings for different kinds of recollections. First up, in the grand foyer, we have explicit memory, also known as declarative memory. This is the stuff you consciously try to remember and can easily put into words. It has 2 main branches. There's episodic memory, which is like your personal autobiography. These are memories of specific events, experiences, and the context in which they occurred. Think about your first day of school, that unforgettable vacation, or what you had for breakfast this morning. Each episodic memory comes with a little timestamp and a "you were there" feeling. It's what allows you to recount a story to a friend, complete with details about who was there, what was said, and maybe even what the weather was like. Without episodic memory, every single morning would be a surprise, involving a frantic search for clothes you've never seen before, and a deep confusion about why there's a toothbrush in your hand. Then, there's semantic memory. This is your mental encyclopedia. It's all the facts, concepts, and general knowledge about the world that you've accumulated. The capital of France. Paris, the square root of 9, 3. The fact that the sky is usually blue, and that pineapples do not, in fact, grow on trees. These aren't tied to a specific "I remember learning this on Tuesday at 3:17 p.m. moment. You just know them. Semantic memory is what allows us to understand language, recognize objects, and generally navigate the world without constant existential crises. It's the difference between remembering that time you learned about photosynthesis, episodic, and just knowing what photosynthesis is, semantic. Beyond the conscious recall of explicit memory, we also have implicit memory, which resides in the mansion's shadowy back hallways. This is memory without conscious awareness. You don't deliberately try to remember these things. They just happen, influencing your behavior and performance. The most famous resident of the implicit wing is procedural memory. This is your muscle memory, the knowledge of how to perform actions and skills. Riding a bicycle, tying your shoelaces, typing on a keyboard, playing a musical instrument. You don't consciously think about each individual step. You just do it. Imagine having to consciously recall how to balance, pedal, and steer every time you got on a bike. You'd spend a lot more time picking yourself off the pavement, and a lot less time enjoying the breeze in your hair. Procedural memory makes our lives efficient, allowing us to perform complex sequences of actions with an almost automatic grace. Or, in my case, allowing me to automatically find the snack cupboard without looking. It's a gift. So, how does all this information get into these different memory departments, and how do we pull it back out? It's a three-stage process: encoding, storage, and retrieval. Encoding is like typing data into a computer. It's the initial learning where information is converted into a form that can be stored in the brain. The quality of your encoding depends heavily on your attention and how deeply you process the information. If you're trying to remember where you left your keys while simultaneously thinking about your taxes and what to make for dinner, you encode keys on counter with about the same care you'd give to a randomly generated password. Storage is the process of maintaining encoded information over time. It's not stored in one specific spot, but rather distributed across networks of neurons in various parts of the brain. When you learn something new, physical and chemical changes occur in your brain, strengthening the connections or synapses between neurons. Think of it like building new roads and bridges in your mental infrastructure. And finally, retrieval is getting that information back out when you need it. This is where those helpful retrieval cues come in. A smell, a sound, a particular word, these can act as mental breadcrumbs, leading you back to a memory. But retrieval isn't always perfect. That frustrating tip of the tongue phenomenon, that's your brain knowing the information is in there, stored somewhere, but just struggling to find the exact pathway to pull it out. It's like knowing you own a certain book, but not being able to remember which shelf you put it on, or even the title, just the color of the cover. Infuriating. Now, here's the kicker, and it's a big one. Memory is not a video recorder. Your brain doesn't just play back a perfect recording of past events. Instead, every time you recall a memory, you're actually reconstructing it. You're piecing together fragments, filling in gaps, and sometimes, inadvertently, even editing the narrative. This is why siblings often have wildly different memories of the same childhood event. No, Mum definitely said I could have the last cookie. Are you kidding? She looked directly at me. Our biases, our current mood, and even new information can subtly alter a memory each time we access it. This reconstructive nature means memory is surprisingly fallible. We can fall victim to the misinformation effect, where misleading information after an event can contaminate our recollection. False memories, memories of events that never actually happened, can be remarkably vivid and feel completely real. It's a humbling thought. Your most cherished memory might have a few creative embellishments provided by your own brain. But hey, as long as the story is good, right? Despite its quirks and occasional betrayals, memory is the bedrock of who we are. It's how we learn from the past, understand the present, and plan for the future. It shapes our identity, allowing us to carry our experiences, our knowledge, and our relationships with us. It's how we connect with others, sharing stories, laughter, and sometimes even those slightly altered childhood anecdotes. It allows us to feel nostalgia, to learn new skills, and to avoid making the same mistakes twice. Hopefully, so. The next time you effortlessly recall a friend's name, or instinctively brake for a sudden stop, or even just remember what you're supposed to do next in your day, take a moment to appreciate the incredible, complex, and wonderfully imperfect marvel that is human memory. It's not just a storage device. It's an active, dynamic process that constantly shapes our perception of reality. One unforgettable, or sometimes inconveniently forgettable moment at a time. And that, in its beautiful, baffling complexity, is memory. If you've ever had a memory trick you, or simply found yourself pondering the mysteries of the mind, let us know in the comments below. We love hearing your stories. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to What Is for more deep dives into fascinating topics, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. And while you're here, why not check out some of our other videos? We've got plenty more questions waiting to be answered. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.